Thanks for coming, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
I mean, you just wrestled last night.
I did.
I mean, for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I know it's what you do, but it always amazes me, and this is part of the life of being a pro wrestler, is that you're in front of 20,000 fans, and then early the next morning, you're out doing as much media as you possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. So let's dive into one of the reasons why you're here, and that's Night Patrol. January 16th, Friday, it opens up. Talk about the movie.
I think tickets are on sale now. So I think if you're interested in going to see this on the 16th, you can look up like the local theaters where it's coming out. It's on a lot of screens, so it could be near you. This is a horror movie that involves the LAPD Bloods and Crips gang members in LA with a supernatural twist. It's a very, very fun film.
All right. Are you a big horror guy?
Huge. Yeah, absolutely. Huge horror guy.
What was the gateway for you for horror movies?
Probably Carpenter's Halloween and just everything else. I used to go to a local video store and I would rent stuff based on box art. So the crazier it was, like, oh, that looks like I'm not allowed to watch that. Like, let's watch that.
And it would also kill you, too, because you would take it and it would be the worst movie, but it had the great art on the cover of the VHS, but it was the absolute worst movie.
I love that stuff. Night Patrol is far from the worst movie, but it is a throwback. We got a great poster that, like, if I was a kid and I saw this poster, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm watching this. This looks crazy.
Universal horror movie fan?
Yeah, huge.
Favorite one? Favorite character?
Creature. I would strip and show you my creature tattoo, but I don't even know if I'd be able to get my shirt off over my head at this point.
It's radio, so it wouldn't really work anyway. So
yeah, and obviously big Wolfman fan. Larry was named after Wolfman, Larry Talbot. Yeah, the Universal monsters, I think, less of a gateway because I think I discovered like modern horror before those, but those are the pillars, like the of horror. So yeah, it's always fun to go back and watch those.
For me, it's funny because generation me being older, obviously. I started watching before there was the video stores and the VHS. It was the trailers that I would see on TV. Like back in the 70s, they would show like commercials for It's Alive and Dawn of the Dead, like after Gilligan's Island and stuff like that. So like that was always like kind of my gateway. And when the VHS stores opened, it was like, oh my God, now I can see any movie I wanted. And they didn't care how old you were either.
Nope.
They let you rent anything that you wanted. So
capitalism, baby. You got the money? Yeah. That's how I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think I was like 8. I shouldn't be watching this.
No, but and that's a great example of like you're watching that movie and it almost feels like I wish I would have known that John Larroquette from Night Court did the narration before I watched it, because maybe the scariest thing was the narration going into that movie.
The magic of that movie is, and I watched it at such a young, impressionable age that they hit you with this is a true story.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh. Well, they're not going to lie. They can't lie. They can't lie about that. This really and man, it's so plausible in your unformed brain that like, yeah, this is what Texas is like.
Yeah, it's 115 degrees and you have the possibility of being murdered.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with Faces of Death. I was like obsessed with Faces of Death.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh my God, this is 100% real, and then you find out later that it's kind of like watching Unreal on Netflix.
And now you can just
everything.
Now you can just go on. Now you can just go on Twitter and like just watch people get killed all day for real. It's fun. It's good.
Did you see Chain Reactions? Have you seen Chain Reactions? The movie
about Chainsaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I loved it. There's so many. Contemporaries, like people that I know and have worked with and, are of the same age and just artists like talking about that movie. I think it's super special.
For you doing this movie, you've been able to be a professional wrestler, one of the greatest of all times. Oh. And then now you're acting, like to be able to do your passions and your love from a young age and to be able to do it for a living and making it your career. Mm-hmm. Do you think about that at all? Do you realize like what's happening and how you're doing that?
Oh yeah, I'm in the fairy tale, and I know it's why I wrestle so much now. is because I know someday that I'm not going to be able to. So I'm really just selfishly trying to enjoy this run. And it's the same thing with movies. It's just like I get to play in a world that I grew up watching, idolizing these people, Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, Jack Burton, like all these characters that I feel like kind of almost molded me into the character that like I play on television, but also, made me who I am, like my personality and stuff like that. So it's cool to get to do all these fun things.
I'm glad you made a reference to Big Trouble in Little China. It's a lot of cred for me. Yeah. Appreciate that very much.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Is it?
Oh yeah, yeah. The run Carpenter went on at that time is like otherworldly. It's like Metallica, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All.
Yeah,
Black Album.
Stop.
No, you throw the Black Album in there.
I can't, but
you
I
have
understand
to.
it.
Sonically, the Black Album is possibly better than any Metallica album.
Can I go on my soapbox for just a second? I know my boss behind me is probably
going
to get pissed off because this is what upsets me about this, and I am obsessed with this. Okay, Metallica, when they started, and I was one of those people when they opened for Ozzy, I was like, my band is opening for Ozzy. When they were on the Monsters of Rock tour, I was like, my band is playing in stadiums. They said it. We're never going to do videos. We're never going to. And then they went against everything they said with the Black Album. If it's not me saying it, it's what they said. So it's hard for me to call them my band when they go back.
Dave, they changed their mind. They changed their mind. You're allowed to change your mind. It's actually a sign of growth and being an adult when you receive new information that changes your mind and your perspective.
Can you relate to that? Like, even with this latest,
100%.
With the WWE,
100%.
Hey, things change.
Dude, when I started, I wanted to be a wrestler. I had boots. People paid me to wrestle. I was stoked. My plan was to be a superstar in Japan and then come back to the States and nobody knows who I am. I can go get ice cream with my sister. I can walk down the street. I can go to a ball game and people aren't poking me.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way. You know what I mean? So when a door closes, a window opens, but back to Carpenter, like his run from he invented a genre, Halloween, right?
Yep.
And he does Halloween, The Fog. I mean,
underrated.
Carrie, I think Carrie was in there too, which is also very, very underrated. Did Carpenter do Carrie?
No, Carpenter didn't do Carrie. But
I'm thinking of
Thing.
I mean, things in there. And when that came out, it was panned.
Yeah,
people said it was awful. It's one of the greatest movies of all time.
I'll even go further. Prince of Darkness,
Yep.
They Live. Like those are movies that
Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah,
I saw them in the theater, and there would be 6 people, but now they're looked back as classics.
Yeah. Well.
So I can understand that run. Your run right now with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the run? Is this the classic run for you?
I don't know. That's not for me to decide. That's for.
Well, I mean, World Heavyweight
fans
Championship, main event at WrestleMania, like the things that you wanted the first time that weren't given to you, you've earned now, and you're getting that. So there's got to be that sense of not appreciation because you've earned it, but a little pat on your back that, hey, man, now I'm finally getting these things for myself.
Sure, but it's not like they're just gifted to me. Like I work my ass off.
No, that's why I say you earned it.
Very much so. But with those things comes responsibility. Last night I got thrown around by a maniac, beat up, and like you said, here I am. You know, bright and early, no sleep. That's the job. And I'm fortunate that I get to speak about all these passion projects, and Night Patrol, 100% a passion project. And it's a passion project in a way that I didn't write it, I didn't direct it, so this is somebody else's baby. But this is just such a genre film that is just right up my alley that it was offered to me, and I was absolutely blown away. Like I find myself in these situations all the time where I'm just like looking around like, Me? You know, when I got the call for Zootopia 2, I was like, huh? What? Like, Disney specifically wants me? Okay. Like, and there's a bit of imposter syndrome because I want to be like, okay, who said no? Am I like, what? Who are the first 13 people who said no to this? And but no, it's just like sometimes you just got to realize, like, no, you're good at what you do, and people want to work with you.
And you finally you realize that, right?
I'm trying to.
It's hard, but you realize it.
Yeah.
Like with Night Patrol and being an actor, and I would never know what that's because no one's ever going to ask me to act, but I have a hard enough time talking to Bully Ray and Mark Henry and Tommy.
Well, you're doing a great job acting like you're a Metallica fan. I don't know.
No, it's all right, wise ass. Load, reload.
I've never listened to him.
Of course. So what are you talking? How are you going to come at me?
I stopped at the Black Album.
All right.
You were like, no, the Black Album.
No, listen. I saw him 13 times on that tour. It just. But yeah, they lost me. Definitely lost me after that. When they're doing an album with Lou Reed, come on.
We all have our, phases
that
we go through. Yeah. That we maybe are like, why am I doing this? I don't know.
Or we call it selling out. Something that you never did.
Based on, depending on your perspective, I suppose. Yeah. Hey, listen, I remember when I signed my WWE contract, I got called a sellout. I've been called. I've gotten called a sellout since I was 15 years old.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when I said that, I didn't think you were going to have the career that you were going to have. But
did you say that?
No,
did you say?
I didn't say that at all. I was actually very, very happy to see anybody go that was at Dragon Gate, Evolve, or Ring of Honor go on to the WWE. It's kind of like what we talk about with Metallica. It's like that's our guy, and
right?
Making it, 100%. Like you feel like a sense of pride and honor when something like that happens.
Absolutely.
So for sure, I was extremely happy. But when you're acting on Night Patrol, because acting is so different and you have so much downtime. Like, how do you get motivated? Because you're a wrestler. You get motivated to get into that ring and wrestle. How do you get motivated before a scene or when there's a long layoff in between scenes? How do you get yourself motivated?
Well, I mean, you have the fortunate ability to do multiple takes. So even if you're coming on set and you're cold and you do a couple takes, and I mean, a lot of times, you're reading lines with whoever you're doing a scene with, and you're going through. Do you want to read this? Yeah. You want to run it? Yeah. Okay. Let's. And you know that I've never yet to do a movie or TV where you do a scene and the director goes, "That was great. We're moving on." Never happens. You're doing at least 3 or 4 takes on everything. So you have the ability to do a take and then you can go, yeah, all right, that's okay. Let me do it again. We're not there. I need to get there. And you bounce off the person you're working with.
I can understand. I get the chemistry down and everything. Like, then you hear like stories about like Stanley Kubrick where they would do like 50 takes,
90 takes.
Yeah, like what's the difference between take 3 and take? I would think it'd go probably in the reverse where you would lose all feeling of what you were trying to do.
I think he just liked to torture people. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know.
Wow. Speaking of torture, tell me if I'm wrong on this, because obviously you're honest with me.
You gonna bring up like Dominic Mysterio matches or something?
No.
Oh, okay. Right.
Unreal. Does it bother you?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit, but there's also a lot of good in it. Like, I watched the first season, and I liked it. There's definitely aspects of things that I don't want people to see, and so I tell them not to film it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll walk into a room and I'll be like, not now. But I also know that a lot of the times I get done and I'm coming through Gorilla, everybody's back there. There's multiple cameras. So if I really don't want them filming something, I'm not going to go through Gorilla.
Yeah.
You can control what they shoot and what they put on that show. You can't deny that there is a fascinating aspect of peeling back that curtain and letting people get a little bit of a glimpse. What I thought the first season did exponentially well was like kind of humanize some of the people that, I think social media has damaged a lot of people's brains and increased like the parasocial relationships people have with a lot of the wrestlers. So where I have done dastardly things as CM Punk on TV, and I have said messed up stuff in character that people in real life will then turn around and say to me like it's some sort of a gotcha. And I'm like that was a television show. Like what?
Yeah.
So what Unreal can kind of maybe do is humanize people a little bit. I think the first season humanized Charlotte really, really well, because I think she's had this public life, and she's like all of us, we make mistakes and they happen very publicly. And so it's easy to point at people and laugh or whatever. And listen, a lot of wrestling fans, what they like to do more than cheering on their favorites is tearing them down.
Yeah, it bothers.
Yeah, and it can bother a lot of people. But I think the show can show a side of a lot of the wrestlers that people might not be aware of.
That I love.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up Charlotte as an example, because I always bring that up as well on the show, that you feel like you know her. And I love that part where, hey, people that aren't wrestling fans now know the struggle of being a wrestler, or if they have relationships and everything else, that side that fans don't know. That I love. The thing that bothers me, being 54, I know that's shocking, right? But me being 54 but me being 54, I grew up with a foundation of what the pro wrestling business is, and the magic of it, and the cloud. And even though I've been hosting this show for 17 years, there's a line I do not cross. I'm not a wrestler. I've never traveled. I'm not on that side. I don't know. I don't want to know that, because I'm not supposed to know that. That's for you to know, not for me to know. And I feel like now everybody wants to go over that line. I find that disrespectful. I want to believe in the magic. I don't, like when Seth Rollins at SummerSlam dropped those, crutches. I want to be like, oh my God. I don't want to be people pointing finger like, you didn't know that? Come on. Like, I want to believe in the magic. And I feel like if you don't have that magic, what do you have? That's what it's all about.
Stay off Twitter like I do. Like, I think a lot of the fans nowadays will work themselves up, and they'll believe somebody that calls themselves a journalist or an insider that knows just as much as they do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know all the cool words, I know the lingo.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can talk to us.
No, and I feel there's verbiage I can, even though I work with these guys, there's verbiage I will never use because it's not my place to use that verbiage.
Yeah. I mean, how many people did we have in Barclays last night? 14, 15,000 people, like they all love the show. I'm not saying I'm sure maybe somebody didn't like it, but a lot of times I use Jey Uso as the number one shining example. Jey Uso in every arena, like I'm battling with John Cena and Jey Uso as who sells more t-shirts on any given night. Okay. Everybody's going crazy for his music. They're yeeting. They want him to run it back. This dude can go out on TV for 10 minutes and just yeet.
Yeah.
But then if you went on the internet, oh, he's the worst wrestler alive. Is he? Or are you just extremely hyperbolic? Everything nowadays, this is the best thing ever. This is the worst thing ever. I don't like this, so you have to not like it too. And it's really just like what you like, champion that. I try to stay away from the negativity.
Yeah.
Jey Uso is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He is. 100%. We just live these lives that are so public that everybody wants to point fingers and like laugh if we slip on a banana peel or make a mistake.